The last one is an interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read that one. So I didn't read several of them. Just a full disclosure.
Yeah, full disclosure, I did not read the last 5, and I skimmed through the interview. So,
full disclosure, I didn't read like the last 7, and I didn't read the interview. So
yeah, that's where we are with this book.
Hey, Lit Set, it's Jasmine.
Hey, Lit Set, it's Nikea, and this is Black Girl Lit,
the podcast. We're a podcast now, guys.
Where Black girls are lit,
we get lit,
and we read lit.
This is Black Girl Lit, the podcast.
Hey, Lit Set, it's Nikea and Jasmine. Season 3, Book 9, Episode 9. Which means this season is coming to an end. Our second season as a podcast. Our third season as Black Girl Lit, the book club. But yeah, we're here. We made it. Haha.
We made it. Yeah, Bellissimo. We made it. We went through the river and over the water. We made it. We made it.
Let's go to Dora. But before we get into this episode's book, let's do our little check-in. So, how's it going, Jazz? Wow, she's coughing.
Sorry, coughing. Not Corona. It is not Corona. Just a little tickle in my throat. Hold on. My pop socket on my mic was tripping.
Pop socket.
I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? It's a Monday. It's pouring right now, like literally pouring. I'm watching the rainfall. I'm low-key kind of scared it might flood, but I'm in the house. But other than that, just chilling out here. It's in my, engagement shoot. It's the second engagement shoot yesterday. We got fly on them hoes, I think a little fancy. Mm-hmm. And then that's what I got. That's my life right now. And I get this. I did get to see someone who real special to me on Saturday.
Me?
Yes, girl. God damn. Oh my God! Talk about Captain Oblivious over there. Goodness gracious!
Special.
You are special, huh?
She likes me.
Of course I do.
Yeah, and I was trying not to be that person that talks to my friend the whole time at a party with a group of people, but can't help it.
But yeah, how you doing, sis?
I'm doing good. I had a coronavirus scare.
Coronavirus.
So, yeah. I was in the same place as someone that had the virus, and me and my husband were like freaking out. But we took an assessment on our insurance site, and they told us, not take a test, so just quarantine. Because we got a little comfortable. We've been doing everything right, but we've been in the house for 4 months, so we got a little comfortable, ventured out. Mm-hmm. Still taking social distancing precautions. But, it's just like wearing a condom. It's only like 99% safe or whatever. So, we ventured out and, and God was like, boom, reel you back in. So I've decided to, I'm going back to phase 1 of quarantine for myself. Until I have to go, not have to, I want to, until I go to Charlotte for Jazz's dress fitting.
I'm about to because I have to, like somebody got a gun in your head, which I technically do. It's a virtual gun. You better be here.
Yeah, so I'm going to be in the house for 3 weeks. I'm only going out like if I need to buy groceries, and that's it. Because I'm like, oh no. I've been taking my temperature every day.
Good.
And then yesterday, when we got back from Greensboro, I started having chest pains. And this happened to me a few years before, and it was like, the doctor said it was like a muscle thing. I thought I was having a heart attack because my arm went limp and stuff the last time it happened. But this morning I woke up and I was fine. I just had to rest, I guess. I guess my body was tired.
Your body was tired. It's probably the anxiety built up, and then it finally released. And so you just kind of...
That's what EJ said. I was like, I'm not anxious about anything. He was like, it's subconscious. Trust me, I'm a doctor. That's what it is. I was like,
he's a doctor?
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he told me. Anywho, all right, this episode's probably gonna be more banter than discussion of the book, but this was Jasmine's choice. It was a compilation or collection of short fiction stories, and it is entitled "Difficult Women" by Roxane Gay. This was
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine's pick. Let me reiterate, Jasmine chose this book.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into our first segment about the author. So I couldn't find any juicy tea on Roxane.
Okay.
But this is what's on her website. Roxane Gay's writing appears in Best American Mystery Stories 2014, Best American Short Stories 2012, Best Sex Writing 2012. Oh, and then in other places, American Short Fiction, Virginia Quarterly Review, and many others. She's a contributing opinion writer for the New York Times. She's the author of the books Aiti, An Untamed State, and the New York Times bestselling Bad Feminist, the nationally bestselling Difficult Women, and the New York Times bestselling Hunger. She is also the author of World of Wakanda for Marvel. She has several books forthcoming and is also at work on television and film projects. She also has a same-gender partner.
Okay.
Let me go back.
She's in same gender love.
Yes, she's a same gender loving woman. Her partner's name is Debbie Millman. Also, her birthday is the day after mine, October 15th. She was born in 1974 in Omaha, Nebraska, which explains a lot in this book. She's 45 and she's 6'3".
Okay.
She's taller than my dad and my brother.
Same height as David.
Wow. She doesn't look like it. But that's it about Roxane.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
And now on to our next segment, where Jasmine is going to flirt.
Don't set some high expectations on me, sis. So put those high expectations on me.
She's gonna flourish and thrive with her synopsis of Difficult Women by Roxane Gay.
Okay, y'all. I'm not even gonna tell you to come along with me on this journey. I mean, come along with me on this journey, but I'm not even gonna try to put a spin on it. I'm literally gonna read you the synopsis that is on Amazon. Okay.
Ooh, it's the first time we've ever done this.
Right, I need to. Award-winning author and powerhouse talent Roxane Gay burst onto the scene with Untamed State and the New York Times bestseller collection Bad Feminist, like Nike had just pointed out. And then she returns with Difficult Women, a collection of stories of rare force and beauty, of hard-scrabble lives, passionate loves, and quirky and vexed human connection. The women in these stories live lives of privilege and of poverty, and marriage is both loving and haunted by past crimes or emotional blackmail. So the stories range from a pair of sisters who have been inseparable since they were abducted together, a woman married to a twin who pretends not to realize her husband and his brother impersonate each other, a stripper putting herself through college, a Black engineer moves to Upper Michigan for a job. Yeah, so that's the synopsis. I literally just read that from Amazon and kind of synopsisized the synopsis on Amazon because it's a collection of stories, y'all. That's what it is. It's a collection of stories. It's like 20, between 22 and 25.
Yeah, the last one is an interview. Okay. The last one is an interview.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't read that one. So I didn't read several of them. Just a full disclosure.
Yeah, full disclosure, I did not read the last 5 and I skimmed through the interview. So
full disclosure, I didn't read like the last 7 and I didn't read the interview. So
yeah, that's where we are with this book. But Jess, thank you so much.
Any highlight into how we feel.
But Jess, thank you so much for that synopsis.
Yeah, it was trash. It's okay.
You did what you had to do.
I did what needed to be done.
Our next segment is going to be our reactions, which is just our initial feelings about this novel as we read it. So Jazz, since this is your pick, you go first.
Okay, cool. First thing I wrote was, well, not only did I pick another collection of short stories, they are heavy AF. And now I wrote this after reading, while I was reading the very first story, which, spoiler alert, is about these not twin sisters, but these sisters who get abducted as children, molested, and kind of dealing with that as adults. So I was like, okay, this is not what I was expecting. For that to be the very first story, okay.
Right.
Next reaction I had, are any of these characters Black? Because they definitely didn't read as such. yeah, I was struggling with that. I thought that it was going to be short story. I guess I made an assumption that because it was a Black author that her characters were going to be Black. I should never make that assumption. And then I wrote that these are not difficult women. These are difficult stories about women. And then the last thing I wrote is, okay, so am I dumb or something? Because I was really struggling to understand the purpose and meaning behind a lot of the stories. Like 90% of the stories, I was trying to understand what the meaning was, what the purpose was, like what was the background stuff. Like I could not, like that. I know for sure, like that Weight of Water one, and the girl was talking about how everywhere she went, the ceiling was like water droplets, and I was like, okay, what are you trying to tell me here? I don't understand what the water means to her. It never was explained to me. So I was just really confused. And then I have like some reactions based on each individual story. But I guess we can get into that in our scenes and topics section.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to know that Aki is doing her makeup at the same time that we're recording. Talk about a sis that's multitasking. Okay.
Y'all, I was recording a YouTube video. I was like, well, I was trying to get it done before I got on the call. But my camera was having technical difficulties. But I was like, well, let me just go ahead and get started anyway. You know, so I'm just doing some little fine tuning before I turn the camera back on. But anywho, my reactions. Damn, Jazz, you chose another motherfucking compilation book.
Says the person that picked the first one of the season.
But yeah, I'm done with compilation books. I'm done. I am done. I mean, How Love Jamaican wasn't bad. But yeah, this book.
Yeah.
But I went into this book confident or like positive. I was like, okay, as I read each story, I'm going to take notes. So I took notes on each story. And then I was like, do some of these stories connect? Are some of these characters in the same universe? And I had the same thing as Jazz, like, some of these people is white. Like, why y'all white in this Black woman's book? So that pissed me off. I hated the setting when they was all in the North Country. I was like, don't nobody know nothing about no North Country? Oh, that was so annoying. But some of the stories I did like connect with, like some of the first few stories. I did not read the last 5. I was just over it. I was just like, what is going on? Like, I need to read a very thorough essay on each short story because I feel like there is some deeper meaning and you know that my mind is just not processing. And I think it's just because the times are heavy and I wanted to read something a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Because instead of reading this book, y'all, I finished 3 other books while reading this book. Granted, I did listen to them on audio, but that's still like 9 hours of my life. Well, one book was 9 hours, one book was 4, and one book was 3 hours. So
that's time that you could have been devoted to reading difficult women that you chose not to.
But I did.
Well, it's okay. I played The Sims instead of reading the book, so
yeah, I did everything possible. And then when Jazz said she wanted to record today, I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and bust out these last few stories. But I couldn't bust them out. I couldn't bust them out.
Couldn't bust them.
I don't know. Maybe I need to be in a different headspace to read this book.
I don't think so. I just think that it's just, I think for me, and we'll probably maybe get into this in the next segment, but I got extremely turned off by La Negra Blanca and Baby Arm. And so from that point on, it was really difficult for me to get interested in reading those books, like reading the stories.
Oh, you didn't read I Am a Knife?
No, I did not. I stopped at Bone Density.
But that's our reactions. Now we're going to move on to the next segment.
I just want to apologize for the time that was spent on this. I am so sorry.
And I hate to talk bad about a critically acclaimed book, and it's like best-selling, and I feel like, oh man, yeah. But on to our next segment, where we are going to discuss major scenes and topics. So we're just going to pick up where we left off, when we were just discussing in our reactions. So some of these stories, I think some of these stories are they're realistic, but then they have some of these fantastical elements.
Yeah.
Like I was just mentioning to Jazz, the one about I Am a Knife, where this wife can literally cut things with her finger. It's like, really? And then sometimes the story just seems so disjointed. Even some of the
Yeah,
short stories, I was just like, okay, because the one about Florida was telling you about different families and different
within the same
people.
community.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. But I did read her like skim through her interview at the end, and she mentioned like these women. I think like goes back to what you said. These women are not necessarily difficult, but they're just like facing difficult situations, and
Yeah,
in that aspect, I can appreciate
yeah, and
the book, and the stories.
I like that about because there is an essay or story in there called "Difficult Women," which shows the complexity of labeled women. How some of the women in there were called, the prude. I think it was like the prude, or the difficult woman, or the loose woman, or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And how these women have these labels, but they don't actually, fully represent whatever label has been placed upon them. Like I think one of the women in there is about this girl who goes on a first date with a guy and they have sex, and then it was that's the crazy woman or the crazy bitch or something. And she leaves her bag at his place. So after
Oh
she
yeah,
realized that, she like texting him and like blowing him up so she can go get her bag. But he's like showing his friend, oh, look how crazy this girl is to get with me. And like, no, she just wants her stuff back. So I think
right.
I appreciated that and how it shows that sometimes women are mislabeled just based off some stupid perception. But then you have stories like La Negra Blanca, which really pissed me off because I'm gonna just give you the full story. So, stories about this girl, I can't remember her name, but she was a stripper. She's a biracial stripper. And she has a customer named William, who is a white man who is in love with black women, but his father has told him that he, as a white man, can never have sex with black women, that you can look but don't touch. Just don't, just they're nice to look at, don't touch. Well, William becomes really obsessed with the stripper girl, ends up following her, ends up raping her, assaulting her, and I just hated this story because it just fetishized black women, and I just did not like it. Like, we are not the white man's plaything or guilty pleasure or forbidden fruit, and it was just like that's what that story was about, and it really bothered me. And I just felt like the character who's assaulted, I felt like she didn't get any justice. The story just ends with William going about his day to go tell his son basically, hey, it's okay to do whatever you want to black women. And that just didn't sit well with me. I just didn't like that. And then Baby Arm was about this girl who was fucking this dude who kept bringing her mannequin baby parts. And it was really weird. And I was like, I don't understand why she's obsessed with mannequin baby parts. And it was just, I don't know. It was just too much for me. It was just
Baby
a
R.
That's what it was called. Baby Arm.
I know, but when I saw that title, I was like, "What in the hell?"
Now, I will say the one about the twin brothers, that one was kind of interesting a little bit. I would have liked to see that turn into like a full story or even a show or something like that. I would be interested in that. But
yeah,
outside of that,
I put a note for it. It was called The Mark of Cain. I put, wow, this was a good one. Twin brothers who trade places, and the one who isn't married gets the wife pregnant with twins.
Mm-hmm. I thought that's a good story right there. That has some nice tea going, But the rest of them, yeah, I got nothing for you, sis. I got nothing.
Yeah. I will say, like, I think just because I feel like the stories were never really complete. But
Yeah.
I guess to be on a more positive note, I think to tie it back to the title of Difficult Women, I really think it's a play on words because oftentimes women are often seen as the backbone of the family. We uphold everything and we're supposed to be strong no matter what. But, we face many things in life and, we can't always be strong. We can't always be the strong one. And there's so many layers to us as women.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like that's where the term difficult comes in and kind of take away the negative connotation of it. It gives you a multifaceted view of women. I do appreciate the different views, and like Jazz mentioned in her synopsis, like you have women who are poverty stricken, you have someone who is who is an engineer, you have people who are in healthy relationships, you have people who are not in healthy relationships. So yeah, I just appreciate the multifacetedness of women that is presented in this novel.
Oh,
and in these short stories.
Yes. that's all I can say is yes to that, because that's all I got.
And that's all I have to say about that. And I don't know if there's any major topics we can pull out, because each story touches on something different. Like,
Yeah.
it really, really does.
There's no connecting theme aside from their stories of women. That's all I got.
Me too.
All right, shout out to one of our YouTube followers. Her name is Ray_Shelly_, and she has given us our first sip of our podcast. So she says that she hasn't finished reading yet, but she's on Requiem for a Glass Heart. She says that her thoughts so far is that it started off as a very refreshing read for her because it is so relatable. Each short story, she can either relate to it or she knows someone who would. And we just want to say thank you to Ray_Shelly_ on Instagram for giving us your thoughts and inputs and insight on Difficult Women by Roxane Gay. Remember that you can send your sips to us via Instagram or email at blackgirllityt@gmail.com. We would love to include it in our episodes.
What's our next segment? We're gonna rate the book. Is it time to rate the book already?
Time to rate the book already.
Yes, this is a short episode. We are only 30 minutes in, and most of that was a pre-chatter. So, all right, y'all. On to our next segment where we rate the book.
Rate it.
On our scale.
Sure. All right. At the bottom, you got Sober, which is like, oh my God, the book was so fucking trash. Then you have Buzz, when you're like, oh my God, that book was not as bad trash, but it was like not the best. Then you have Tipsy, which is like, oh my God, that book was pretty decent. Like, I would read that again. I like that. And then you have Lit, which is like, oh my God, Becky, did you read that book? And it's really good. It's like the best book you've ever read in your life. And that's our rating system.
Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome.
So what's your rating? You get to go first.
I'm gonna just go ahead and be honest with y'all. This book was sober. Okay, this book was so bare.
Like, so bare.
so bare. Like, I didn't finish it. I didn't care that I didn't finish it. It was just, the stories were weird. I know I hate this because I read stories that feature, Caucasian or, non-Black characters, but I just had this expectation that was not lived up to for this book. And I'm just, so it's sober for me. And like Nike said, I hate that I feel that way about this critically acclaimed book, but then I realized, there's lots of things that are critically acclaimed that I just don't support, like capitalism. So, America's critically acclaimed, I guess, but you see how that's going. That's the ghetto. But that's just how I feel. I have nothing else to say, and that's on period. Nakia, how do you feel?
Well, I'm gonna give this book a buzz because
you did better than I did.
There are a few stories in here that I actually like, so I don't want to give it a sober because it wasn't for me. It wasn't complete garbage or basura. So I'm gonna give it a buzz. Like, there were some stories that were really good and that resonated with me, and some parts that I could connect to, especially in Difficult Women, where it's talking about being a mom. I was like, yes, I feel you on that.
That was a good one.
Yeah. But other than that, that's it. Like Forrest Gump. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that. Well, guys, I hate that this is how we feel for our second to last book of the season. That means that a girl like that better come strong.
Don't worry. Okay, baby. Yeah. So this book. Our next book is by a woman of color. She is not Black, but she is a woman of color. All right. So our next book is A Girl Like That. I do believe it is YA, or like young, YA not young. Yeah, not teenage YA, but maybe like early 20s characters. And A Girl Like That by Tanaz Bahathina. And that is our last book. And that'll be our last episode for season 3 until we come back in September. So after that, we'll be taking the rest of August off. Y'all won't get new episodes from us, but we'll be back with a vengeance.
We'll be back. Like I said, hopefully a girl like that ends the season off with a shabang bang bang.
YA always comes with the bangers. I mean, the worst YA book we read was Margot Sanchez. So,
no. Well, no. For me, it was the Star Touch Queen because I didn't even finish that book.
Oh yeah, but I finished it.
You went back and listened to it or read it.
Yeah, you could listen to it.
But I didn't. I'm, meh.
Here's to hoping. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I have high hopes. Hopes.
Yes.
So, and I also have to actually purchase this book. So it.
Same. Me too. Mm-hmm. Me too. They don't have it on Kindle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have it on Kindle, but not in the library.
Oh yeah. I think my actual physical library has it. I might read the physical book.
Oh, look at you going to the physical library.
They have curbside pickup at the library.
Oh, any hoosers. That's it, I guess. Mm-hmm. So sad. I hate that we're just so lackluster, but that's just how the book was,
Yeah. Y'all know how lackluster it is because I'm drinking water.
I did. I took a leftover smoothie from Tropical Smoothie. It was a guava margarita smoothie, and then I added some Jose mango margarita to the smoothie. So it's...
But y'all, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening.
Stay Black Girl Lit. Hey, go get you some Black Girl Lit merch. Okay.
Oh yeah, don't forget our merch, y'all.
Buy some merch.
I'll put it in the. Maybe I can. That doesn't screen record, but I'll put some pictures of our merch in the video, and maybe Jazz will send me some pictures. So if you're watching this on YouTube, listening on YouTube, you can see our merch. So go purchase. Everything is $25.
Mm-hmm. $25.
Yes, everything is $25. Crop tops, t-shirts, and wine tumblers.
Get you a tumble, baby.
That's all I got, Jazz. You got anything else?
I don't have anything for the good of the order.
All right. Well, as always, stay Black Girl Lit.
Stay Black Girl Lit, y'all.
Bye.
That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating and a top-notch review to get us to the top review page on iTunes. And be sure to follow us and listen on SoundCloud.